Hello and welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
And I'm Corey Baumeister.
And we got Rob in the booth. Say hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Rob will be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure you tag at Star City Games so he can see them. Send his favorites over to us.
Yes.
Been a while since we've seen you, Rob. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Currently coronavirus free.
All right. Hey.
That's about as good as you can hope for.
Yeah, exactly.
It hasn't really hit, Southwest Virginia that hard yet. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of waiting. Everybody, doing our best.
Hasn't hit hard that we know. Who knows? But yeah.
I basically leave the house for only two things, and it's to come here for this and grocery shop.
Yep. Same. I've been buying a lot of video games from home. PlayStation Store has been really saving the day here on this. So got back into Grand Theft Auto 5. I've really been exploring all my teenage years again. It's been great.
See, you're downloading games online on your PlayStation.
Yeah.
I went into the back of my closet and fished out my old Game Boys and have been trying to play Pokemon, but I found out my cartridges are so old, the internal battery died, and it won't save my file.
Okay, boomer.
So I'm either going to have to, buy tools to repair it, buy a new cartridge, or spend an entire Sunday winning the entire game in one go.
So Ross,
honestly, I think that's what you should do. Yeah.
What Game Boy and what game?
So I actually own a Pocket, a Color, and a Game Boy Advance. And I thought I owned both Gen 1 and Gen 2 Pokemon games, but apparently I only still have Gen 2 left. I mean, I definitely used to own them.
Oh, yeah.
So I was trying to play. I have a copy of Gold and Silver.
I mean, to be fair, Gen 2 is the best anyway.
Is it?
You think
Yeah,
so?
because you get to play both regions and...
Yeah, it is nice. You do get to play both.
I cannot remember the specifics, except the very first Pokemons, where you went through the grass area. You always fought 10,000 Weedles,
the Viridian Forest.
Exactly. Yeah, you had to choose between, Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle. And
Bulbasaur.
Yeah. Whoa.
Charmander, come on.
We're gonna lose a lot of viewers here if we're saying Bulbasaur. Come on.
But we're gonna gain Emma Handy and all of her loyal followers. So
worth it.
It all balances
So worth
out.
it. All right, what are we doing today, Ross?
We are diving into an uncharted territory here on Versus Live and exploring the historic format, which has been gaining a lot in popularity recently on Arena.
Yeah.
I think people really want to one play Arena because they're home.
Yep.
And two, play something other than Standard.
Yeah.
No matter how, this has been a good Standard format. Let's be honest. But
we're all ready for a shakeup.
2 months in,
Yeah. We're late into a Standard format. We're seeing some of these events that are being run online, and it is just kind of the same Standard decks playing against each other, the top tier decks. So it's nice to have a change up, and Historic is just that. I always thought Historic was just an excuse for people to still have value on their cards on Arena once they rotate, because they didn't really have a good setup for that on Arena, since you can't get money out. You can't sell the cards like you do on Magic Online. So I always kind of thought it was just that. But the more and more I play it, the cards they've infused and stuff, it's just a dose of nostalgia, right? You're just playing some of your favorite cards, as well as hanging on to some of your favorite decks from Standard that may have rotated, whether it be Golos, Dinos, a lot of stuff we are going to be showcasing today. And I think the format's actually really cool, and I've been really getting into it since we've been trying to explore this.
It's nice that it really is. It is a good mix between the old nostalgic decks and then some new decks that are a little bit enabled by the large card pool and the big collection there. And then some old decks that have been juiced up with the infusion of some of these new cards from the anthology sets.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a little bit of everything across the decks that we're playing today.
Yeah.
I'm going to be starting.
And hopefully one of many shows, because I'm not going to lie, I think this is really cool. I would love to explore Historic. I even saw after we submitted our deck list, I saw 2 decks. And I was like, oh, no, I would have loved to have played this. But
yeah. Well, I mean, if you like the Historic format, please, let us know.
Yeah.
We'll definitely bring it to you as much as we can.
And if you don't like it, tag at Shaheen Sarani. Let him know, and we'll make sure that it gets run up the flagpole.
Good reminder. Good reminder.
Thank you. You may add too many plugs into the beginning now. I don't forget the plugs when it comes to Shaheen.
Yeah.
So
among all the elements that comprise Historic, I'm going to be starting with the Nostalgic Dose, playing one of my favorite decks of the last couple of years of Standard, and that is Mono Blue Aggro.
Okay.
A little Curious Obsession, Siren Storm Tamer.
So basically your favorite deck of all time, right?
It is definitely up there. The deck is so much fun, and it actually got even more fun because of the addition of Brazen Borrower.
Oh, yeah.
Card is unbelievable in the deck.
Mythic Championship 1, we didn't have it, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
because Borrower was from Throne.
That's true. Yeah.
So, like, but you wanted some number of unsummons by the end with Mono Blue, but they weren't very good. Brazen Borrower gives you that just stapled onto your threat, gives you another flash threat. So you actually get to move Tempest Djinn to the sideboard, and you never have these awkward moments where you're trying to tap out on turn 3 and then you can't play your counter spells.
Yeah.
So there are, I think, 9 cards in the deck that can't be played at instant speed, and they all cost 1 mana. 4 Siren Storm Tamer, 4 Curious Obsession, and a
probably
Terramander.
a few islands though too that can't be played at instant
I said
speed.
cast it.
Oh, sorry.
Islands aren't cast; they're played.
Whatever. But yeah, the deck looks sweet. I mean, I played it at Mythic Championship 1 when the deck was really good and had just a blast playing it. But there were some problems with the deck there, and it seems like there's some new additions here that make it a lot better. Brazen Borrower, I think, is probably the best or the biggest inclusion. Just the fact that it's 2 spell, disperse, and just a very effective creature, like comparable to the power level of Tempest Djinn. Tempest Djinn is a little bit stronger, and you might suffer in matches where you're just getting beaten down, like Gruul or something like that.
Aggressive matchups, so you definitely want the Djinn. Sideboard is pretty heavily slanted for aggression.
Yeah.
Because those are the matchups you tended to struggle with anyway.
Yeah.
Your counter spells aren't as good in those matchups. Your spell pierces aren't as good. So the deck always needed to sideboard pretty heavily for aggro, and that's still the case.
I like it. Okay, so what I'm going to be playing Esper Hero with a little bit of these spicy anthology additions as well, like Meddling Mage. I mean, that's a nice one for a hero deck. It's something that, if you know the format, which is a little tough to know historic because I feel like it's just so wide open. This is another scenario where I think the format would get a lot worse if we had a Pro Tour. Kind of, like how Pioneer just kind of, got a little bit more stale, got more condensed.
Yeah, always condensed.
Exactly. So I'm kind of glad we won't have this because it is wide open. You go into those historic queues, it's just the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
I'm playing Andrea Mangucci's Esper Hero list. He posted on a video not too long ago. It looks really sweet. I think we just get into it.
Yeah, I do want to make one point. Meddling Mage in this deck, you're playing 4 Thought Erasure. So you got to go Thought Erasure, you Meddling Mage on 3 maybe, or maybe Thought Erasure into Teferi, into Hero plus Meddling Mage, something like that.
Exactly. One thing I don't think it was factored into this matchup when we were starting is whatever I Meddling Mage name, Ross will have the other card that I think of naming because he's so incredibly lucky. So I'm anticipating that and doing a little bit of mental foreshadowing and preparedness for when this dagger really hits me. So
if you want to know how to Meddling Mage me, you really need to consult the OG and talk to Chris Pikula.
Yeah.
Because we played a match in Baltimore 2 years ago where he does Meddling Mage and just blind.
Isn't he the Meddling Mage?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
He was playing humans, I was playing as a Phoenix, and he just worked me over with Meddling Mage.
And he just blind named
the right card every time.
Wow.
Like, I ended with 3 uncastables in my hand multiple games.
How ironic would it be if he just saw the glare in your glasses, he was cheating and saw the target, the most clean player of all time? No, I'm just totally kidding.
Got a Meddling Mage playmat out of his bag and waved it at me.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah, it's on camera.
It was a great SCG tour moment.
Really?
He then signed the playmat and mailed it to me. It's in my apartment.
Really?
Yeah.
You must have got real good if he signed something and sent it to you. Be like, I need to do something for this young man.
It was quite the display.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. My hand is solid, and I will keep it.
My hand's okay. It's a little top heavy, which I just feel the top end of this deck is going to be bad no matter what. But I think we have enough early action and we're on the draw, so I'm going to keep it.
I will play a Siren Storm.
You have a 1-drop? How lucky.
I mean, I only have 9 of them.
How lucky. No, that's what I'm saying. How lucky. Yeah. There's no sarcasm in that.
Okay, Island Tech.
Oh, no Curious Obsession. Yes. That's what we're going to be hoping for basically every single turn of the game.
Pass.
All right.
Also, Ross, wasn't that the SCG 1 with Mono Blue?
It was. I was trying not to toot my own horn, but...
Yeah, y'all, he paid Rob $20 before this match to say that.
Hey, Jack got you on that one, so...
Pikula did not make the top 8. I'm not sure if he won a match after that, and I did not lose a match after that.
All right, I think I'm going to start with a Thought Erasure.
They Thought Erasure,
I'm going to take a peek.
Pierce that.
Wow. Okay, pass to you.
Then I will play a Spectral Sailor.
Okay.
Then I will draw a Curious Obsession.
You would.
Attack for 2.
Oh, man, I just thought. 17.
You're up.
Okay, untap. Ooh, we have that land, too. This mana base is great. So the board is not too incredibly dangerous. So I kind of want to get a pseudo threat here. Let's go with a meddling mage.
I will cast a Brazen Bar.
That might have been my name. Okay, now what do I want to name? I mean, it still seems like Curious Obsession should be the name here, but I'm just honestly already in such a rough spot. I know you don't have Curious Obsession, so maybe it's wrong to do so. I do need to just resolve spells, so maybe I have to just hope you don't draw that. Since I know you don't have it now, I think I have to plan for that. I would say, how about Wizard's Retort? Okay. And we'll go with Watergrave and pass to you.
Attack for 5.
All right. I will go to 12.
Pass the turn.
Untap. It's a decent draw. Probably not what we want to play this turn, just because we want to try to interact, I think. I'll attack.
18.
Okay. I'm going to go with Deputy.
Resolves.
Now, I mean, here's the question. Like, almost no matter what. So if I name this, then you get to draw a card. Or if I hit this, then you get to draw a card, so I don't want that. I'm going to go for the highest power, so you have to choose between a card.
Yeah, I'll dive down the bar.
Okay. Same kind of thing, but yeah.
This plays better against a later Teferi. Also
Here you go.
keeps 5 power on the battlefield, so Corey can't shock, because that reduces the clock.
Yep.
Attack for 5.
7.
Island go. Now I have enough to draw a card and leave up the Storm Tamer, which is nice.
Is it nice?
No, it's actually mono blue.
Oh, okay. Attack?
15.
Teferi?
Resolves.
Okay. Now I think I just need to tuck Brazen Borrower to try to save some life. So yeah, let's do that.
Draw a card.
Yep.
Counter that.
Okay. Year go.
One here, 3 you. That still
Okay.
leaves lethal.
Down to
Go
4.
Pass the turn.
All right. Well, it's an interesting one. I'm pretty in trouble regardless if we have the right card in hand.
I have 3 cards in hand. So that's a lot of chances.
Yeah. I think we just have to NBA Jam here. And just hope for the best. All right. Attack.
I'm at 12.
All right. So we have 2 spells that interact here. And I don't really see the point in playing around, or neither of them can really play around the counter spells that they could have, or that Ross could have. Wizard's Retort is shut off, but you still have that Pirate counter unless you pay 4 thing. So I can't
Lookouts Dispersal.
Yeah. All right, I'll take 2 and play a Dream Trawler.
That brings you to 2.
Yep.
In response, I will Petty Theft the Meddling Mage. And then Wizard's Retort.
Dang it!
I actually do this the turn after you Meddling Mage. And I'm almost like, really? Is he going to get me?
Yeah, either way I was dead. I mean, I could have played Deputy and not
I had
taken
a really
2.
good hand.
Yeah. Brutal. Well, this could be the story. I think we can do a best 3 out of 5 with this one. We'll do 2 pre. You down? Sure. Just because I think these are going to be very much lightning speed games where either I'm going to stop what you're doing or you're going to get under me.
Yeah.
And
definitely a lot of racing going on.
yeah, 100%.
In basically every mono blue matchup, that's how it goes.
100%. Yeah. Or it's just trying to maneuver your way through disruption. And I feel that this is kind of the matchup. You know, it's either races or you have to battle against a control deck where you have to really time your spells right. And where I almost have to just jam, and if one resolves, you know. I mean, if Dream Trawler resolves there, I probably win. But, you know, you didn't even need to.
Yeah, I could Brazen Borrow the Dream Trawler,
Exactly.
but it was way cooler to do it the other way.
I do have to agree with you. All right, do we got any questions there, Rob, while we're shuffling up?
I forgot to turn my mic on. I have one from Hysteus.
Okay.
They want to know, what's your favorite vintage cube archetype?
Ooh, so I haven't done a ton of vintage cubes, but I did just dropped one last night that was just like blue-white control. I had like both Teferis, I had a couple Moxes, I had Jace, I had Stoneforge with Batterskull and Sword. I like just fair blue decks personally, but yeah.
I like Storm. I like the twin decks quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because they're just really fun to play.
Yeah.
And I like white weenie decks.
Okay. And if you want to see a vintage cube draft, my dropping bombs this week that got posted yesterday was on vintage cube. So anybody who's interested in that, check that out. I had fun. My deck was not amazing, but it played out quite well, I have to say.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I haven't watched yet.
Well, hey, I didn't say I won. I just said it played out well.
Did you get to draft any
Different
power?
definitions of playing out well.
What's up?
Did you get to draft any power?
I pick one, pack one. I will give the pick one, pack one spoiler alert. I got Black Lotus, so it created for some interesting turn ones. I will say there was a turn one Planeswalker on my side during one of the games that you wouldn't normally see on turn one. All right, it was Gideon. It was awesome. All right, let's get back into this. I'm going to be on the play. Okay. Our hand is missing a very key element here, but we have a couple draws at it, and otherwise our hand is pretty decent, so I'm going to keep.
Sand is pretty good, but it's kind of slow. I'm going to try it, but I could definitely see this hand being a mulligan.
You go.
Especially on the draw. Yes.
No one drop. All right.
I mean, Spectral Sailor is flash.
That's true. Okay, so we drew a card that makes us want to play this more than our other one. So hero go. Hero's going to be nice, getting value off everything.
Pass.
Okay. So now we're going to want to play all our spells pre-combat just to avoid a brazen or a cutthroat to just come down and block. So Thought Erasure, you get a Shaheen.
I will cast a Brineborn Cutthroat.
Okay. All right. Oh, this hand
Your
looks pretty
Precinct
good.
1 was exactly what I didn't want to see with this hand. I've got a lot of ground creatures here,
Yeah.
so the Obsession's going to be hard to get through.
Yeah. Brazen Borrower is kind of my initial jump here. Yeah, 2 counter spells means I'm not really forcing through that too well. But Brazen Borrower is the only threat you can cast on my turn, so I think we'll take that.
Sure.
And I don't really want to give away Hero. I'll keep this on top, and I'll pass to you.
Wondering if I should have played Trickster here, tap down the hero, because then I could, or tap down the token, because then I could play Obsession Attack, and either get a card or force you to chump with the hero.
Yeah.
Probably would have been better.
Too bad. Too bad, Ross Merriam.
Play an island and pass.
All right. All right. Let's go with... Thought Erasure you. Get a Shaheen.
I will look out Dispersal that.
Okay.
This.
Meddling Mage, get a Shaheen.
That's fine.
Okay. Now, to stop your other counter spell, or Merfolk Trickster, or Curious. Curious is the one thing I don't really care about right now. If you flash in a flyer, of course, that would be pretty annoying, but... I'm going to go with Wizard's Retort.
Okay.
And... This would be risky. Am I feeling lucky? Not really. All right, here you go.
Okay. And play this.
Oh my! God, you're lucky.
Session it up.
Yeah.
Attack for 2, brings
Yep.
you to 18. I don't have any protection though.
Yeah.
Pass the turn until I, draw one. But
Of course, of course.
This is going to be quite the game.
Othakaya trigger.
Resolves.
Oh, yes.
You got a 21.
21, yep. I was like, if you do that to me, or this would be so brutal. So now the question is, I already put in a token, right?
Yeah.
So I could attack with all this. Seems pretty bad. Beginning combat.
Sure.
Go. Not even playing the trickster.
Pass the turn.
I see what you're up to over there. Ross is looking to save that trickster to shut off meddling mage for a turn, and then wizards retort me, which I think is fine. Atrice trigger.
Yeah, I think that's going to be worth it. So play this, get a counter, tap here.
Yep.
Retort, get a counter.
Okay. Go.
It's too much card advantage.
Yep.
In a game where I don't have any pressure.
Yep.
Wondering if I probably should have waited a turn on that obsession. Could have held up 4 mana, had the counter spell ready, and just drawn a card on your end step anyway with the Spectral Sailor.
Yeah,
I think I got a little antsy.
Yeah, but if you drew a protection spell for it that turn, you were just like gonna win, you know?
Yeah. But I think I could have waited a turn.
Were you done?
Yeah.
So I know nothing about your hand?
Correct.
Okay.
Patience with this deck is pretty important.
Yeah,
I was a little
agree.
impatient on that turn.
Deputy, trigger.
Results.
Target this. All right. So now I kind of feel like getting in there, but with what? I think for sure this questioning hero, probably not quite yet. So we'll just get in.
Block a Shaheen and take 6.
Okay.
14.
Your go.
And step Cutthroat.
Okay. Dang it.
Play an island and pass the turn.
Okay. We're kind of out of gas as well. That was a pretty good draw. If I were to Meddling Mage, Brazen Bar, can you still cast Petty Theft?
Yes.
Really?
They're separate spells.
That seems like cheating. Okay, well, I'm going to start with Meddling Mage.
Resolves.
So you don't have a flash creature in hand. You could have a counter spell. Probably just a land. And if it was a counter spell, you would have countered it as well. I'm going to go with Dive Down.
Yep.
Deputy? Shaheen?
Sure.
Target trickster?
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'll attack with these. Okay.
Tap down this. Get a counter here.
Yep.
Block 2 Shaheens and take 5. And 9.
Okay. Your go.
Wonder if I should have upkeeped that trickster, tapping down the hero.
That'd have been kind of spicy.
Yeah, it would have maybe prevented some tokens.
I would have got both your tricksters then.
Yeah.
Then I just wouldn't have played Meddling Mage, I don't think, but...
Pass the turn.
Okay. How about a good one? What if I attack with everything? Blocks 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I'll jam.
It is exactly 9, so I'm dead.
Okay. Hooray!
Yeah, the hero was really bad for my hand because I was a little bit slow. I think if I had been patient with the Storm Tamer, I might have gotten one more card a little bit deeper, but and then you would have had to deputy that.
Yep.
And I would have, I was drawing this, which would have been good. But the hero probably still would have raced me. The hero was really good against my hand.
Yep. Looks like the hero of Versus Live won that game. So we're going to take a short break and we're going to head to sideboarding here. And we'll be right back on Versus Live.
Hello and welcome back to Versus Live. We are sideboarding in our matchup between Mono Blue Aggro and Esper Hero in Historic.
Yeah.
On my side, I'm not doing a whole lot.
It's a historic matchup, really.
Yeah. Mystical Dispute seems quite good.
Yeah.
Just a lot of blue spells.
I think it hits everything besides hero.
Hero and Oath of Kaya.
Yeah.
And so I think it generally is upgrading your spell pierces Othokay is probably like the best card that Pierce hits, and a lot of the big things that it hits are going to be cards that you side out.
Yeah.
Granted, you are bringing in some Enter the God Eternals, but Dispute hits those as well.
Yeah.
And I think Merfolk Trickster is my worst creature, and I wanted to trim one of those. I'm leaving in one Pierce. The numbers here are close. Obviously we're new to Historic, so not super solid here.
Well, speak for yourself, man. I've been testing.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot in between rounds of other tournaments I've been playing.
I could see Essence Capture on the play, especially because it does tag hero, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Turn 1 creature, turn 2 capture your heroes, a really strong opening, but it's not great outside of that. I think it's a little bit too narrow, so I'm going to keep the other counter spells in instead.
I like it. So story for sideboarding with Esper Hero here, I'm just basically taking out these really expensive clunky cards like Teferi and Atrice, and I mean, that's really where I started. I think all 6 of these cards are really heinous. Like, you just have so many creatures that the -3 ability is never good because all you need is one Spectral Sailor to be able to attack down and kill it. It's super expensive leaning into Dispute. I went with Enter the God Eternals instead because at least this card really catches me back up. This card, sure, it's going to tuck away a creature for a little bit, but that's not a very big effect. This is going to put a threat. It's going to gain me some life that I'm very much going to need. So I think this is a better inclusion. Taking out Trees because it's a ground creature where you're not really attacking me. Card advantage, sure, but I'd rather have Hostage Taker. And then disputes against the mono blue deck I think are going to be pretty good. I was really hoping I can just, I was hoping to look at my sideboard and see 4 of these. So I think that'd be exactly where I want. But we're keeping in Dream Trawlers because we really want that Haymaker effect to just jam as well, like Enter the God Eternals. And where if it does live, it's going to be game ending. But if I had 2 more Mystical Disputes, I'd be cutting those or a couple more Enter the God Eternals just because they're too expensive here. So
don't have enough good cheap spells.
Exactly.
Didn't prepare for the mono blue aggro matchup.
Andrea Mangucci really didn't. This is the list that I copied from. So the list does look sweet though. It's really basically the same as Esper Hero, except you get Meddling Mage. And Meddling Mage is a very powerful creature.
Yeah, and really good in the deck.
Yeah.
I like that Historic exists in this space where the format is not too fast for Hero Precinct 1 to be an effective card, but you do have a wider card pool, so you have a more depth in terms of your choices for multicolor cards.
Yeah.
You're not scraping the bottom of the barrel.
True. We might be the first people to ever play Historic in paper. Just saying.
Might be.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We'll make sure to only try to halfway disappoint the people that are really infused in Historic. We'll try not to play too poorly.
Who can be disappointed when you're playing this deck? It's so fun.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
And
or playing this format.
great.
It's just great.
So
some of our other decks that we're about to play too are just awesome. So, all right, I'm going first, right?
that is not the case.
Okay.
I believe I will go first.
All right. I mean, we got a couple, our first couple turns have some decent interaction. I don't think we can mulligan this. I feel like this is a hand you keep and just lose, but you know what? Here we go.
Okay. I'm going to main phase the Spectral Sailor so it doesn't get disputed.
Okay. All right. Go.
Okay. Well, Corey didn't leave up dispute, so let's Obsession the Sailor.
I could totally bluff it, but honestly, life total is pretty relevant when it comes to this, so I'll just put my tail between my legs and take the 2 and lose the game to Curious Obsession.
I'm at 18, or you're at 18.
All right. Thought Erasure.
Yeah. Which of my protection spells would you like?
Ugh.
My guess is the Lookout's Dispersal, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'll take these 3. I don't know. These are all so good. It's not Dive Down, and both these counter spells are basically the same.
Well, one of them only costs 2 mana. I don't have a wizard.
You don't have a
I do
wizard.
have a pirate. That's why I leaned towards Lookout's Dispersal.
Yeah, I guess that does counter everything just as much. So yeah, we'll take that. I will Surveil. I do not need a land, and I'll pass to you.
Okay, attack for 2.
Yep, 16.
Draw a card.
Yep.
Play an island and pass the turn.
Well, we have some high hopes if we can ever get to the late game, but I don't know how well this is going to truly work. All right, Teferi.
So I guess I have to retort that.
Okay.
So let's do that.
Go. We just have to jam. We got to get him out of stuff here eventually. Problem with drawing 2 cards is that's not very likely.
So you're at 14.
Yep.
And I will play a Terramander.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
Scary Terry. All right, big draw step for us here. Okay, not the worst. Land, go.
End step, Brineborn Cutthroat.
Sure.
Untap.
Yep.
Attack for 5.
Yeah, no blocks.
Brings you to 9, and
Yep.
I'll draw a card.
Yep. All fair.
Pass the turn.
All right. Okay, I got Enter the God Eternals. I mean, whatever, it's gonna get dive down, but do I still gain the... I wouldn't gain the life, right?
You do gain the life because you target a player
Yeah.
to mill. You actually do still gain the life.
And I do still get the token, huh? I would think so. Deals 4 damage to target creature, and you gain life equal to the damage dealt that way. So I don't gain life because I'm not dealing any damage.
Okay, so you don't gain life, you get the
puts
creature.
The top
That's
4, and I get the token.
I knew there was a part of it that you get. So
Yeah.
you get the creature, but not the life.
So I'll target this.
I'll dive down whatever.
And I'll target me for the 4 cards because I don't want to help Terramander out.
Yep.
One,
here.
2, 3, 4. I do not gain life, but I do amass.
6.
Am I dead?
You're at 9.
Yeah.
I have a Merfolk Trickster to make it 9 and tap your thing.
All right. Yep. I mean, we maybe could have got back in, if you had nothing else. But yeah, once you went turn 2 Obsession, I only had a 3-drop for interaction. I didn't have anything as a follow-up there. So
yeah,
basically toast there.
That's pretty classic mono blue on the play.
Yeah.
Just bury you with the Obsession draw.
It really is. It really is. All right, well, I got to win the next 2 games, huh? This next game should be a little easier than the 5th game, though. Being on the play is a huge advantage in this matchup, it seems. So
especially with Hero, like you getting to play turn 2 Hero when you're not that far behind, I think is really, really good.
Yep, agreed.
Especially now, if you can go like Dispute into Hero, and that way I can't even Obsession you.
Yeah, or I just really need a Dispute to be able to stick like a Teferi or something, or just stick a Deputy, like on turn 4, be able to play something that really matters with a Dispute. But yeah, just didn't line up that way.
No.
So
right.
Ross, with this deck, in Standard, one of the big parts of it was Tempest Djinn, and those are in your sideboard now. What's the reasoning for that?
So one of the reasons that Tempest Djinn was a big part of the deck was because there were no other options. And Tempest Djinn was awkward in a lot of games, largely because of it being a 3-mana sorcery. So you had to, often you would either like jam it on 3 and just hope they didn't have the removal spell, or if you had land 4, maybe you could like hold up, dive down, and turn the corner with it. Brazen Bar gives you the deck a lot more flexibility while being a similar threat in terms of its aggressive pressure. A little bit worse, but not that much worse.
Not by much. I mean, I still think overall it's a better card.
Yeah. It's a worse defensive creature than Tempest Djinn, which is why the Djinns are still in the sideboard. Basically, in the slot where Surge Mare used to be, you're going to want to cut Brazen Bar against a lot of aggressive decks.
Like Gruul or something, which you might see next round.
Yeah. Maybe you leave in a couple because you want the bounce spell against like Embercleave. But you're going to trim on them for sure. And if they don't have something like Embercleave, you don't really need
you got Gust for the Embercleave slots, right?
Too. Yeah. So yeah, you probably don't even need that when you have Gust.
Yeah, you probably have to take out Spell Pierce, some of that cards.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you lose a little bit, I think, against aggressive decks, but that's why I'm playing a list with a Brineborn Cutthroat.
Yeah.
Because that does help you out against aggressive decks by creating this big body on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, look how much it shut me down even in the games we played. You just got it to an X3 and it's just like, okay, it's not worth me chump attacking right now, so yeah.
So I think you want to play Brazen Borrower. You can't really fit Borrower and Tempest Djinn in the main deck because you don't want that many 3s. And because Brazen Borrower is better, then you move towards Brineborn Cutthroat to compensate for the loss of Tempest Djinn as a defensive creature against aggressive decks. But then you still get to play Djinn, so then you have both of them post-board against Aggro, which is your ideal configuration.
Checks out to me. All right, keep those questions coming in, y'all. We will keep them getting answered. For now, I'm going to be on the play, and oh no, 1 lander. Oh, we got to mulligan this. That's not great.
Oh no, 2-lander. Got to keep this.
Oh no, I'm flooded.
This deck wants to make land drops.
Yeah, true.
I'm usually fine to like the first 5.
Yeah. I just want to make sure Curious Obsession is not in your hand. Then you can have as few of lands or as many as you want. All right. So we're going to try this again. Down to 6. Okay. No matter what, this is a pretty solid start. We're going to keep this. We're just going to put our expensive card to the bottom. We have plenty of that effect. So I will pass.
Pass the turn.
All right. Meddling Mage?
I will flash in Spectral Sailor in response.
Okay, I'll name Curious Obsession.
Yep.
Your go.
Attack for 1.
Okay, 19.
Pass the turn.
All right. Attack for 2.
That is fine.
Okay.
18.
And pass to you.
And step Brymore Cutthroat.
I'll dispute that.
Attack for 1.
Okay, 18.
Pass the turn. No 3-drop. Just wanted to leave up dispute, maybe.
Spectral Sailor is a card I want to deal with here. So we're going to start with Deputy.
I will Wizard's Retort.
Okay. Land, attack for 2.
16.
Your go.
Not a big fan of how this game has progressed. I'm not really ahead in any meaningful sense, and Corey's making his land drops, getting up there. But we'll continue beating down.
Okay,
Hopefully we can turn
17.
the corner at some point. Pass the turn.
All right. Meddling Mage? Mind games.
In response, Merfolk Trickster.
Okay.
I will tap the one that can attack.
Okay.
That one resolves.
So that is a close one. Let's go with oh, my brain. Let's go with a Mystical Dispute.
Okay.
Go.
And step Merfolk Trickster.
Okay.
Tap the other one.
Yep.
Attack for 5.
Okay, we'll go to 12.
Pass the turn.
Now we got to probably just play defense with these. That could be a good draw. Deputy.
That is fine.
Target.
Yep.
Okay. Now if we want to, maybe we shouldn't do that pre-combat, huh? Yeah, that's bad. Sorry, I'm not going to do that pre-combat. If that's okay.
That's fine. I'll go
Attack
to 12.
report. Now I'll play it.
Yep.
Just because if you have petty theft, then I just lose both meddling mages, and then it's just way worse.
Yeah.
So, okay, pass to you.
Okay. Yeah, it's 12.
12 ball, yeah.
And step Petty Theft the Deputy.
Okay.
Play Brazen Borrower.
Okay.
That's brutal. Yep. Attack for 8.
Okay, down to 4.
Pass the turn.
All right. Well, that didn't work out well.
Yeah. So now I have 4 in the air. So this deputy probably has to target Brazen Borrower.
Yeah, it sure does. All right. So, Thought Erasure you?
Opt in response.
Okay.
Bottom.
And what do we have named again? We have Curious Obsession, which
And
you never
Mystical
had,
Dispute.
of course. Yeah, and Dispute, which you never had.
Just an island.
Okay. I don't want this. Deputy.
You got to hit one of the flyers.
Yeah, I'm saying, do you want to respond?
Oh yeah, I guess I can hit. I can't hit dispute, but I can hit dive down.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna target this.
Yep.
Okay. Pass to you.
Do I want to attack? You'd be forced to trade.
It's gonna be a close one.
I don't think I want to attack.
Whoa, you said you didn't want to attack.
Well, with these.
Oh,
Let's get in for the one.
all right. Down to 3.
Pass the turn.
All right. Lame. It's not good for us. Hero.
That is fine.
I don't think I can really attack past you.
Draw a card.
Yep. The Spectre Sailor is just going to eat us alive here.
The power of Spectral Sailor.
Yeah.
Attack for 1.
Yep. 2.
Pass the turn.
Come on. This is so lame. All right. Thought Erasure you. Trigger.
That's unfortunate. Lookout's Dispersal.
Okay. Pay 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's countered.
Rather have countered a more impactful spell.
Maybe I just have to be getting aggressive here. I can't get too aggressive. I'm at 2. Ugh. I'll attack with hero.
Okay, before blocks, I'll draw a card.
Okay.
I will take 2. I'm at 10.
Here you go.
Attack for 1.
Down to 1.
Play a Siren Storm Tamer.
All right.
You can go. Now I got 2 flyers. I got 2 good cards in my hand.
Lame. You had it. I had Dream Trawler, and just top deck this and 2 Thought Erasers instead of being able to cast it on time. I think there was only like a 1-turn window, realistically.
I drew the dispute off of this.
Or the retort.
The previous turn. The retort. No.
And just everything we named was always wrong. Like, I called it at the beginning of the show. Whatever I named, you're going to have the other card. Like, it was right at the time. Like, Curious Obsession for sure is what I had to name. But, yeah, it just it didn't work out.
Got to see the power of Spectral Sailor in that game.
Yep.
The real thing is, like, you weren't really able to ever gain any traction on the ground like you were with the hero in game 2.
Yeah, that's the only game I won is when I just had hero on 2, and I was able to interact. Even if you were countering stuff, I was gaining value from it. And, I mean, that's just really what I needed. But overall, that deck has been impressive over the, over the amount of time that it's been legal and standard. And, it was really dominating when Simic Nexus was becoming really big because just counter spells against your 4-mana sorcery speed enchantment deck is usually pretty good. But, I mean, we see the power of it coming into Historic here, so.
Yeah. And really, like, the key, if this deck gets big in Historic, it's pretty small right now. But if it does, like, you've got to be... people underestimate how good it is to just be aggressive back against it.
Oh, yeah.
Because even though you're drawing some cards, like, your creatures don't attack for a ton of damage.
And they sure as heck don't block.
Yeah. They don't block very well outside
you have Tricksters for defense,
exactly.
which is good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Tricksters usually buy like a full turn, because you're tapping down a creature and you have a chump blocker for it. But, if you got Questing Beast coming down, Questing Beast does not care, Yeah.
And you mitigate the effectiveness of my counter spells by forcing me to tap out to keep up on the battlefield. So if you want to beat this deck, definitely, being aggressive or tilting your deck to be more aggressive helps quite a bit. I don't know what that deck could do. Teferi also, obviously.
Or you play Dinos and you play 4 Shifting Ceratops. Let's go. All right.
Would be good.
Rob, do you got a question for us before we head to our second round?
Yeah. So with Mono Blue Aggro, Ross, what's something that if you're new to the deck, you can look at to try to improve upon, or try to take your play with the deck to the next level?
I gotta get home.
I think something I mentioned earlier, and one of the reasons that game 2 slipped away for me is patience.
Yeah.
Like there was a turn there where I had the obsession and I slammed it on the Spectral Sailor, but then I didn't have any protection for it. If I had waited a turn, I had land 5 set up. I could have obsessioned, played, and then had 4 mana still the entire time. Pass with 4 mana, next turn, land 5 obsession, have 4 mana up for Merfolk Trickster, target the Meddling Mage that was naming my Wizard's Retort, cast Wizard's Retort for 2 mana, and protect it. And it's not even like I'm really gaining a card, because by using my 1 mana on the obsession, I could instead just use that 4 mana to activate the Spectral Sailor. So I think I should have been patient that turn and not just slam the obsession. There are games when you just don't have it and you do have to slam.
Yeah.
But you don't always do that, and recognizing when to extend and just cross your fingers and when to hold back is the real key in playing this deck.
Every turn's contextual.
Yeah.
Every single turn is contextual to the game. And I think you said it best, and you're going to highlight the point I want to make is being patient is key to this. But if you really want to get better at playing Mono Blue Tempo, watch the entire top 8 of Mythic Championship 1. Autumn Burchett put on a clinic with this deck. They absolutely dominated, and it was just a masterclass. I was testing with Huey and Reed, and Huey and Reed both played against them, and just said their play was unbelievable. And then I watched the top 8 because I was not in it, and it was just
match especially.
It was unreal. So if you really,
who's their opponent in the finals?
it was Japanese pro. I forget his name.
They were playing really well too.
Oh, yeah.
It was both players peak of their powers. It was really impressive.
So if you really want to get better at Mono Blue Tempo, watch that entire top 8 where Autumn's featured, and you'll be impressed. And it's very entertaining.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I had played that deck quite a bit. Played it at that MC,
Same.
and they were taking lines that were I didn't see, or just demonstrating an incredible degree of patience.
Yeah, I was in the crowd with Huey and Reed and somebody else playing that. It wasn't Huey and Reed, but they flipped the cards upside down in their mono blue deck that they were playing. We're are they looking at it in a different light than I am? I just don't get it. I would not have made that play. It was the funniest thing. You had to be there.
Yeah, definitely watch those matches. I completely agree.
All right, well, you keep those questions coming in. We are going to take a short 5-minute break and get round 2 set up. I am going to be playing the boogeyman of the format, Golos. Fires Golos here, thanks to Ollie Antrazi. Ollie's been playing Golos in Field of the Dead since he was allowed to do so. So I wanted to see how good this deck is in comparison. People are saying in Historic it's still above Field of the Dead, and that it's really the most powerful deck. What are you going to be playing against me?
I am going to be playing Gruul Aggro. It was a bit player in Standard for a little bit, but this deck gets a lot of upgrades of Lovestruck Beast, Clothis out of the sideboard, but also gets one of the upgrades from the anthology sets that are in Arena in Burning Tree Emissary. So going to do some cool stuff with my Gruul Aggro deck and hopefully give you some beatdowns.
You mean you're going to walk right into my Deafening Clarions? I can't wait. We'll see you in 5 minutes, and we'll be right back here on Versus Live.